You need to stop scrolling right now. Seriously. Go check your pocket. Open that old drawer. Look inside your coin jar. Because what you're about to hear might sound unbelievable, but it's real. What if a tiny, dirty old wheat penny, just 1 cent, could secretly be worth a fortune? We're not talking about small money. We're talking hidden treasure. Quiet wealth. Coins that people ignore every single day, while collectors are hunting them like gold. Today, we're revealing the top 3 ultra-rare wheat pennies that could be sitting right in your home. These are not normal coins. These are silent fortune coins. And one tiny detail, just one, can turn them into life-changing money. Do not spend these coins. Collectors are fighting for them. Auctions get intense. Prices explode. And the final coin in this list, it's going to shock you. So stay with me, because each coin gets rarer, more powerful, and more valuable. Now, let's begin with the first hidden treasure. Coin number 1, the 1941 wheat penny, no mint mark. At first glance, it looks completely ordinary. Just an old copper penny. Worn, simple, forgettable. But that's exactly why people miss it. Back in 1941, the United States was standing on the edge of World War II. Tension was rising. Metal demand was increasing. Factories were under pressure. The economy was shifting fast. And during this time, millions of wheat pennies were produced. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Not all 1941 pennies are equal. This specific version, the one with no mint mark, was struck in Philadelphia. That tiny missing letter under the date? That's not nothing. That's everything. Because during production, some dies were overused, worn down, stressed. And under those conditions, a small number of coins came out with unusually sharp details, strong strikes, and incredible preservation. Most of these coins were heavily used. Spent during wartime buildup. Carried in pockets. Dropped. Scratched. Worn down. Most are gone forever. Now imagine holding one that survived. Solid copper. Around 3.11 grams. About 19 millimeters wide. Smooth edge. That classic wheat design. On the front, Abraham Lincoln facing right. The word Liberty. The date 1941. No mint mark. On the back, 2 wheat stalks framing, 1 cent, and United States of America, with E pluribus unum above. Simple. Clean. Easy to ignore. But in extra fine condition, everything changes. Lincoln's hair still shows detail. The wheat lines are sharp. The rims are strong. The surface has natural toning, maybe a deep brown glow, maybe hints of original red hiding in protected areas. That untouched surface? That's gold to collectors. And listen carefully, never clean this coin. Not ever. The moment you polish it, wipe it, or scrub it, you destroy its value. You remove the history. You erase the surface collectors are paying for. A cleaned coin can lose most of its value instantly. Original condition is everything. Now here's where it gets intense. Collectors don't just look at coins, they study them. Under magnification. Every detail. Every line. Every shade of color. They check for scratches. They analyze the strike. They look for originality. And when a true extra fine 1941 no mint mark penny appears at auction, things get serious. The room goes quiet. Then the bidding begins. Slow at first, then aggressive. Because serious collectors know one thing, supply is shrinking. Many of these coins are already locked away in private collections. They're not coming back to the market easily. Demand keeps rising. And value? A top-tier extra fine example of this 1941 wheat penny has reached around $300,000 plus in today's market. Let that sink in. That's not just a coin. That's hidden wealth. That's life-changing money, hiding in something people throw away without thinking. So if you find a 1941 wheat penny with no mint mark, stop. Check the condition immediately. Look at the wheat lines. Look at Lincoln's hair. Check the color. Do not clean it. Get it professionally graded. Authentication and condition decide everything. One small mistake can cost you a fortune. This is not hype. This is real. People have spent these coins without knowing. People have lost them. And sometimes, the dirtiest coins are the most valuable. But if you think this is impressive, the next coin is even rarer. Even more dangerous to ignore. And when it shows up at auction, things don't stay calm. Stay with me, because the next wheat penny might be the one that changes everything. Coin number 2, the 1956 wheat penny with the D mint mark. At first glance, it looks completely ordinary. Just another old copper coin. Nothing flashy. Nothing rare looking. But that's exactly where most people make a huge mistake, because this coin is far from ordinary. This is one of those quiet coins that can carry serious hidden value, and if you overlook it, you could be losing real money without even realizing it. Back in the mid-1950s, America was thriving. Post-war energy was high. Cities were expanding, suburbs were growing, and everyday life was filled with cars, diners, and jukebox music. But behind that smooth surface, the U.S. Mint was dealing with intense pressure. The demand for coins was massive, and the Denver Mint was producing millions of pennies at a rapid pace. Machines were running nonstop. Dies were used again and again. Equipment was pushed to its limits. And when production moves that fast, perfection slips. Small inconsistencies begin to appear, and that's exactly what happened with some 1956 wheat pennies. A number of these coins came out with subtle but powerful differences that today's collectors watch very closely. We're talking about minor die variations, slightly uneven strike strength, and unusual surface textures that normally wouldn't appear together. These are the tiny details that turn an average coin into something collectors fight over. Now imagine holding one in your hand. That classic copper look, about 3.11 grams of bronze. Around 19 millimeters wide, thin and smooth at the edge. It feels like any other penny you've ever touched. On the front, Abraham Lincoln faces right, calm, steady. The word Liberty sits to the side, and the date 1956 is clearly stamped. Just beneath it, that small D mint mark from Denver, and that tiny letter is everything. Flip it over, and you'll see the familiar wheat design, 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum above. Simple. Classic. Easy to ignore. And that's exactly why so many people miss it. But when you find one in very fine condition, everything changes. The wheat lines are still sharp and visible. Lincoln's hair shows clear detail. His cheek hasn't been completely worn flat. The rims are still strong and defined. The coin carries a natural aged brown tone, maybe a deep chocolate shade, maybe even hints of reddish glow protected near the letters. That untouched, original surface is what collectors love. And listen carefully, never clean this coin. Even if it looks dirty, that dirty layer might actually be original toning. The moment you clean or polish it, you destroy its natural surface. And once that surface is gone, a huge part of its value disappears instantly. Collectors want originality, not shine. Another important step, professional grading. Without proper authentication and grading, you're taking a risk. A certified coin builds trust, and trust brings higher value. It can be the difference between a regular sale and a serious payday. Now think about this. Why are strong examples so rare today? Because these coins were heavily used. They passed through vending machines, gas stations, grocery stores, and countless hands. Most were scratched, damaged, cleaned, or simply worn out over time. Very few survived in clean, well-preserved condition. That's why collectors study them so closely. They examine the exact position of the mint mark. They check spacing in the lettering. They analyze the sharpness of the wheat tips. These small, almost invisible details can completely change how valuable the coin becomes. And when a high-quality 1956 wheat penny shows up at auction, something interesting happens. Bidding doesn't explode immediately. It starts quietly. Slowly. Two experienced collectors recognize what's in front of them. Then the numbers begin to rise. Calm faces, but aggressive bids, because they know this isn't just a coin. It's a shrinking opportunity. Fewer of these coins exist in strong condition every year. Many are locked away in collections. Very few enter the market. And when demand stays high but supply keeps falling, prices move up. That's how rare coins turn into serious money. Today, a top-level example of a 1950-60 wheat penny in very fine to higher condition, especially with strong eye appeal and original surfaces, can reach shocking prices in the collector market. We're talking about life-changing value from a simple 1-cent coin. Let that sink in. A coin most people would ignore could actually be a hidden asset sitting in an old jar, a drawer, or even your pocket change. So what should you do? Start by checking the date, 1956. Look for that small, D mint mark under it. Study the details, Lincoln's hair, the wheat lines, the edges. Look for natural color and avoid coins that look overly shiny or scratched. If something feels different, don't rush. Take your time. Get it checked. Get it graded. Because patience in coin collecting can turn small discoveries into big rewards. And remember, never assume it's just another penny. Some of the biggest hidden treasures don't stand out, they blend in. And if you think this 1950-60 wheat penny is impressive, then get ready, because the next coin is on a completely different level. Rarer, more intense, and the kind that creates real bidding wars. Coin number 3 is where things get serious. Coin number 3. This is the one almost everyone ignores. Most people would slide this coin across a counter without a second thought. No hesitation. No curiosity. Just another penny, right? That's exactly where the mistake begins. Because the 1937 wheat penny with no mint mark doesn't demand attention. It doesn't look rare. It doesn't feel rare. It quietly exists, and that's what makes it dangerous. Stay with me, because one small detail about this coin can completely change how you see it, and possibly change your life. Let's go back to 1937. America wasn't stable. The effects of the Great Depression were still hanging in the air. People were working, yes, but barely holding on. Money moved quickly. Nothing stayed in pockets for long. And the U.S. Mint? It was under serious pressure to produce coins fast, very fast. Pennies weren't collectibles back then. Nobody cared about saving them. They were tools for survival. Daily use. Constant exchange. And when production speeds increase under pressure, something always happens. Mistakes. Not always obvious ones. Not dramatic errors. But subtle things, die stress, rush strikes, tiny inconsistencies, that today's collectors obsess over. Now here's where it gets interesting. This 1937 wheat penny was struck in Philadelphia, which means it has no mint mark. And while most people think, no mint mark means nothing special, collectors see it differently. To them, it represents something pure. Original. Untouched by branch mints. It's the starting point. And when you combine that, no mint mark detail with the intense production pressure of 1937, you get a coin that looks ordinary, but carries serious hidden weight. Pick it up. At first, nothing stands out. It's small. About 19 millimeters. Thin, just over 1.5 millimeters. Weighing around 3.11 grams of copper-based metal. But then you notice something. It feels different. Heavier than modern coins in a strange way. Dense. Solid. Like it belongs to another time, because it does. Now look at the front. Abraham Lincoln's portrait isn't flashy. It's calm. Controlled. But if you really pay attention, the details start revealing themselves. The sharpness of the jawline. The spacing of the numbers in 1937. The way the date appears slightly stronger, slightly bolder compared to later years. Collectors notice these things instantly. Flip the coin over. The wheat stalks on the reverse, simple, agricultural, almost too plain. That's where people get fooled. Because hidden in that simplicity are the details that matter most. The fine lines in the wheat. The lettering in 1 cent. The spacing, the alignment, all of it reflects a time when machines were pushed hard and workers were under pressure. This is not just design. This is history stamped into metal. And now comes the part where most people destroy the value, without even realizing it. Condition. A 1937 wheat penny in very fine condition still shows wear. That's normal. That's expected. But what matters is that it remains original. Natural toning. Slight darkness. That aged surface that collectors actually want. Here's the truth most people don't understand. Cleaning this coin doesn't improve it, it ruins it. One wipe. One polish. One attempt to make it shiny. And you erase decades of history. You strip away its authenticity. And just like that, what could have been worth thousands, or more, drops down to almost nothing. Never clean this coin. Not ever. So why is this penny so hard to find in high condition? Because it was never meant to survive. These coins were used hard. Spent daily. Dropped, scratched, forgotten. Kids played with them. Adults ignored them. Some were melted. Most were worn down beyond recognition. Nobody in 1937 thought, "Let me save this for the future." That's why the few that did survive, especially in strong condition, are so valuable today. Collectors don't just want this coin. They compete for it. Quietly. You won't always see headlines or flashy auctions. A lot of the serious action happens behind the scenes. Private deals, fast negotiations, collectors who know exactly what they're looking at. Because once you sell a coin like this, getting it back is nearly impossible. There's also something deeper here. This coin isn't just metal. It represents survival. It lived through one of the hardest economic periods in American history. It endured pressure during production, decades of circulation, and years of neglect, and still exists today. That's why collectors connect with it emotionally. And that emotional demand? It keeps prices rising. Supply keeps shrinking. And the average person? Still thinks it's just a penny. Right now, high-quality examples, authentic, original, professionally graded, can reach values up to $296,000. Let that sink in. A coin most people would ignore, holding life-changing money. And yes, people are still accidentally spending these every day. So if you ever come across a wheat penny like this, here's what you do. First, check the date, 1937. Second, look for the mint mark, or the absence of one. Third, examine the surface. Don't rush. Don't assume. And most importantly, don't clean it. Don't sell it in a hurry. Patience is where real value is created. And if you're serious about it, professional grading isn't optional, it's protection. It verifies authenticity, preserves value, and puts your coin into the right market. Because this isn't just a coin anymore. It's an opportunity. A silent fortune, sitting in plain sight. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video. I truly appreciate it. And if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe and support my channel.